Happy Monday, everybody. Coming at you guys today with I think is going to be a really insightful video. If you are scared to death that call centers are going to kill the independent agent game, me and Ethan are going to discuss that and hopefully shed a little bit of light on it. We know there's a lot of talk and buzz out there, especially because of the COVID situation. Technology is advancing and they're trying to push a lot of things. Call centers are growing. They're trying to even push a lot of agents towards doing things remotely. So is this going to completely kill the independent agent that can't go out there and work in or start their own call center? Got Ethan here with me. What's your initial thoughts on that, Ethan? Because I'm tired of hearing people scared to death about it.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited about this one. I think, we were discussing this, last Thursday or Friday, where this is kind of the video idea we were talking about. Like you said, I've been seeing a lot of buzz about it. A lot of people have been asking me about it. And really, a lot of clients have been telling me that they purchased over the phone. So after hearing this over and over and over again, I really wanted to kind of just decipher it, break it down, and kind of get into the nitty gritty today on why we believe or we're really not worried about this.
Perfect, man. So I think the first relevant question is me and you are, like you just said, we're running into this every single day, whether it's with other agents or with our clients. And I didn't know what to make of it at first. And my first thought was, should I be scared of this call center growth? So based on your experience so far, are you scared of the rapid growth of what seems to be the rapid growth of call centers in the Medicare space?
Short answer is no. Long answer is no. I don't believe anybody that's out there in the field should be concerned with, phone calls over the, or calls from people in a call center. Really, because I believe that yes, there always are going to be people that call and can write somebody over the phone. We're always going to have had it for 10 years. But I believe that a lot of Medicare and Medicare sales can be and are relationship sales. I'm not out here trying to just get transaction after transaction. I'm over here trying to build a relationship. I want to help Mr. Jones out. I want to help Mrs. Jones out. I want to help the entire family out. Okay. Not that you can't do that in a call center, but I just believe that this should be a lot more relationship based than transaction.
Yeah. And that holds true. Like, when have you ever met a client that bought something over the phone from a call center? Okay. And when I say call center, I'm not talking about an independent agent that lives in their town that made the sale over the phone. Okay.
Right.
A call center. And I've never once could they tell me what the person's name was, or that they had an agent, or even the agency, whatever they were called. Never once have I had them have any type of relationship with the person from the call center or the company that runs the call center, the agency in general, just to speak.
100%. 100%.
And then another thing too is the benefits that can come. So like, it doesn't scare me because I've gotten more benefit from calls. I love walking into a house that tells me, how'd you get that policy? Oh, I don't know. Somebody just called me. I don't even know who it was. Like, isn't that the best ever?
I love hearing it. And I know we've talked about several times in several past videos. Everybody should be asking that question during your needs assessment, is how did that person get that plan? That's super important. We need to know that it was a call center, or we need to know their brother sold them that policy. That's super important to know. Yeah, huge difference. You don't want to sit there and talk bad about somebody. Not that we would, of course, but you don't want to say things that are going to discredit you.
Well, I think what you just said right there, asking in every single appointment how somebody got their, how somebody got their policy. Let's say that you have somebody that you sit down with, they send in a business reply card, you get your appointment booked, you go in there, you're starting to kind of get things situated. And we ask different questions throughout the needs assessment. But is there any, I want agents to really get this part. Is there any question that gets you more excited and your eyes light up more than, hey, how did you come across this policy you got here? How did you get it? And someone says, got it over the phone. I have no idea who it was. What is a better answer in the beginning of a presentation? Like, what does that mean for you when you're in an appointment that happens?
That gives you the opportunity to become, dependent on company, that gives you the opportunity to become their agent on record. Hey, Mrs. Jones, the good news is I can get you a better plan today. And let me tell you something, instead of you having to dial 1-800 number, should you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, you're dialing an 817 number. It's my personal cell phone you're calling. You're not calling a call center. You're not going to talk to Rob this time, John next time, et cetera, et cetera. You're talking to me every single time. I mean, that alone, guys, huge. These folks want to be taken care of. They want to know that they can pick up the phone and get their questions answered. They want to know that somebody's going to be on the other line, that it is a human and it's not somebody from wherever.
I do prefer to do that in person because it's just so overwhelmingly powerful. When they meet you, they hear you, they see you face to face, and the only connection they've ever had with their policy, the person who set them up on their policy, was a single phone call. That's powerful. But it's equally powerful if you are going to do telesales in the Medicare space to still try to work your local area first and foremost. Even statewide can have a lot of power, but you just being an independent individual and having some geographical relation to them, even if you don't think you'll ever meet them in person, still puts you light years above the relationship they have with the call center. So even if you're going to be a phone agent, you've got to build the relationship, make yourself a person. You do not want them to ever forget your name. Mail them a magnet card to put up on their fridge. And this same principle or the same opportunity that people churning, these call centers churn Medicare Advantage plans like crazy. And it presents an opportunity for individual agents, whether face-to-face or over the phone, to the opportunity is huge. They're laydown deals, a lot of, if you can help them.
Yeah, and I don't want this video to make it sound like we're discouraging phone sales or anything like this. This is clearly just to give our opinions on whether the old unattractive face-to-face agents even, if I should even go that route anymore. It's 2020, technology's here, et cetera, et cetera. And I know you put several videos out, especially when COVID was going on, about the importance of doing as local as possible. And of course, that can include statewide. Here in Texas, it's we're big, so it's a bit difficult to do, DFW one day and El Paso the next. But in smaller states, I can definitely see doing a statewide campaign.
Yeah, but I think the point that I was making was that there are actually local agencies that do everything over the phone, like Boomer Benefits in our area. Mm-hmm. So at least when if I meet a prospect, I get a scope sign, I'm in the presentation, at least when they tell me they got it from Boomer, they have some connection to that. They're like, yeah, I got this from Boomer Benefits in Fort Worth. They help a ton of people. Like, there's still a personal connection there. It's not like the call center, Medicare Healthline 101800.com or some crap like that. It's actually an individual representative from a local agency that's talking to them. So it's not the opportunity for us individual agents isn't the fact that other people are doing this over the phone. The opportunity is the fact that these call centers have sales processes and cookie cutter scripts. And if you meet that criteria, they'll just churn you willy-nilly, which leads me into the next point, which is what helps us as independent agents is that these call centers, who a lot of times haven't been there that long, it's not like they're 30-year veteran agents. Every call center agent that calls to sell a Medicare plan over the phone, they're not intimately familiar with these local nuances and these local networks, local hospitals, right? Or like certain companies or certain carriers may have a really bad reputation where we live, but they're number one in Denver, Colorado, or whatever, or vice versa. A company, they may think, XYZ carrier just doesn't carry any weight, but here in our area, it may be just super popular. A regional carrier may be super popular. The nuance behind the Medicare market, the need to understand that local nuance makes them far less of a threat than agents realize. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. I mean, even 3 counties down from where I usually work, plans are 100% different. And I've talked to people in those areas and said, hey, and a lot of them where where the companies that are pretty dominant here in the DFW area, if you go further a little south, it's not the same way. It seems like other carriers are fairly dominant. And I wanted to ask you a quick question. Out of your hundreds and hundreds of clients that you do have, after sitting down with them, after explaining the plan or explaining the plan that's better that you're switching them to, or even if you can just get a quick AOR, which is an agent of record change. Have you had one single person say no? They would rather just keep the call center rep. Have you had anybody do that to you?
I've had situations where I could not put them in a significantly better situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I can think of one person that I could put them in a better situation. I didn't build for whatever reason, we didn't mesh very well and they didn't do it. But other than that one circumstance where someone was just being stubborn or stupid or whatever, I can't think of one where I could offer them, like if they were turning 65, or if this was like during AEP and we had a meeting to go over what they currently have, where I could put them in a better spot and they didn't do it. But that's kind of what my point is if you can help them, okay,
Mm-hmm.
in any tangible way, and they meet you in person, it's a lay down deal. They're going to do it 99% of the time.
Yeah.
So you almost wish you had a list of people who purchased their Medicare policies from a call center. I know obviously we can't do that, but like you would just be, I mean, you'd be
We're almost pro call center. We're almost like, yeah, I want to hear that somebody did that. I want to hear that they're working in the area that I've been working in. I want to hear these things because that gets me fired up every single time. So.
Well, there is a sad component to it because Ethan, how many times have you sat down with somebody and they tell you, again, they don't say I got this policy from a call center. They just say it was over the phone. I have no clue who it was. Right. But when they tell you that, and then the next thing out of their mouth is, I didn't even know what they were doing. All I know is the next thing you know, I get this card in the mail and my doctor won't take it. Ethan, I don't know what to do. I'm just so scared, blah, blah, blah. Like they're almost begging you, please look at this and help me out here, right? And so that part's sad. While it is an opportunity for us to do the right thing and fix something for somebody, it sucks that's allowable, that it's okay to just willy-nilly churn a plan without going the extra mile to make sure everything's going to work. It's crazy because we would get in trouble for that. I mean, we can get complaints. You can lose your license if you do it bad enough, right? So but hey, it is what it is. But it is sad when that happens and people they can't feel like they can't get help. They're stuck, can't go see their doctor or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I've had, just a quick story. I've actually had a current client who fell victim to that. And shame on me for not doing a good enough job as far as saying, hey, any sort of plans, if anybody ever reaches out, I work with that company. You're in the very best spot. And should that change, I will reach out to you. The lady is currently still going through cancer. And somebody at a call center had called her and said, oh, well, the plan you have, yada, yada, went through the details. This plan is tremendously better. And when you put the two side by side, yes, absolutely. The company they were presenting
on certain
does make way more sense. But going through cancer in that particular county, not one single doctor in that county takes that plan. Not one single doctor. And she's currently going through chemo and radiation. Thankfully, after the phone call, of course, she was panicked, rightfully so. I was able to save her, but let that be a lesson. That kind of piggybacks on what you just said, as far as a lot of these people don't care, especially over a call center. Their job is to make that sale. Okay. And so, yes, you can sit there and be the hero and save the day, but sometimes you can't. And sometimes you're going to have to make that phone call and say, no, that's the best you can do until it's time.
Yeah. And I think so. The whole first part of this conversation has just been about the fact that you got to turn this into an opportunity, because it really is an opportunity for individual agents for building an individual brand and relationship. But I want to just briefly touch on some certain things you can do to prevent your business from being churned by these sometimes predatory phone calls. But they're not always predatory. But even if it's an honest phone call, that really it didn't help your customer out or your client out. And I'll start out by just saying, number one, you got to make sure you're leaving things behind, and that's resources for them to be able to reach out to you first. I talk about this in several videos, so does Ethan. We always leave magnet cards behind on their refrigerator. So if they ever are confused about something, the first person they think to call is you as their agent. And then your quarterly calls. So your quarterly calls are just keeping you with your current clients, are just keeping you fresh on their mind. So if they're unhappy with something or confused, they don't just answer the first phone call with somebody who offers a solution. They reach out to you. And then the third thing is just to coach your clients. You can't sit there and tell people that you can't talk to any other agents. Like, of course you can't do that. But what you can do is just repaint the picture. Like you just said, Ethan, I'm an independent broker. So if anything ever comes up you're unhappy with, or you feel like there might be a new option out there that you might like better, I just hope that you keep this card and all my information and call me first, because chances are I could do that for you if your circumstances change. Yep. So really, you're just painting the picture that there's no need to take a call from a stranger all the way through to changing out of this plan without checking with your current agent first to see if they can help you with the same thing. Or even if it's a TV commercial, call me. I'll if you would like to, I'd be happy to explain that company or plan as well.
Yeah, just kind of, again, piggyback. I try and tell these people, hey, look, whatever you see on TV, whatever you read in the paper, whatever mail comes in, whatever somebody calls you and tells you, chances are I've got it. And my job, Mrs. Jones, is to put you in the very best spot the first time I see you. Okay, that way when something like that comes up, I can already say, hey, nope, we've already looked at that. Doctors aren't accepted there. But if that changes, I will be the first one to let you know. The biggest thing that I do, that I've been doing here lately, is I tell folks, well, first off, a lot of people tell their clients to throw away their red, white, and blue card. Throw away their Medicare.
When you first told me that you ran into someone that did that, I almost didn't believe you. I was like, you're being cynical. And then I had it happen. And I was like, yeah, somebody flat out told me soon after that, well, the guy that called me to switch me to this plan told me I didn't ever need my red, white, and blue Medicare.
Got it all on one card. Don't need it anymore.
Crazy.
So what I've been doing is, guys, there's no way to change a plan without that Medicare number. Okay. So now here lately, I've been telling folks, look, I tell people that there's no way to get onto another plan without that number. Okay. So if somebody asks you for it, you got to let them know, no, I don't give that out over the phone, or I've got somebody that helps me out with this. I don't feel comfortable, whatever it is, they can't do that change without that number.
So what you're saying is you just educate them that if they're giving out that number, just that is typically means they're looking to enroll you in a different plan.
Correct.
Is that what you
that person?
Because a lot of times they don't know that. But if somebody is talking to you about your Medicare and they're asking you for your Medicare number, chances are the reason they want that is because they're actually looking to initiate an enrollment.
Yes.
And that might not always be clear to your clients. So of course they're free to give out that information to who they want, but we can at least educate them that is a key piece of information for new enrollments. So it might strike a chord with you if someone asks for that you do have an agent, you might want to call them first.
Yeah. Yeah. And that one has seemed to work so far really well for me. I've had several calls from current clients saying, hey, I keep getting a bunch of phone calls. I'm confused. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. But they go, but a couple of people that I've talked to have asked for my Medicare number, and I remember, Ethan, you told me a couple of months ago not to give that out, unless you ask for it or whatever, your doctor asks for it. But if somebody random is asking for it, chances are they're looking to switch that plan. So that one seemed to stick. Use that one.
Well, I'll just end here by saying that this presents a great opportunity at the end of the day. You're gonna lose some clients to call centers that really have no vested interest other than the one phone call. And that is what it is. That's true in any line of insurance. But for the most part, I think it's opening up more doors for us. We have stronger relationships. There's fewer and fewer of us building those personal relationships, so they're strong. They don't want to leave that. And then really there's simple things you can do to educate your clients that you're a broker. You can work with all the plans they see on TV typically, and that sometimes a quick phone call where that you don't have to sign anything, they don't have to mail you anything. They can still change your plan. And a lot of people do and don't even know it. So just educate them that can happen and what that looks like. So.
Absolutely. Again, like I mentioned, I see it as a positive. I think people like you and me, Kenny, agents like us, are becoming more valuable in time as more technology comes out, et cetera. I'm excited to see what the future brings us.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for joining me, Ethan. I think this is good stuff. I know I mentioned it before. I meant to say it at the beginning of the video, but we do have a new website. It's MedicareMillennials.com. It's the easiest way to get in contact with us. Just hit the contact us button. You can leave us a message. You can get our phone number if there's set up a time to talk. Ask us specific questions. That link is in the description below. You guys have an awesome week. We'll be back with some more content later this week.
Awesome. Take care.